The 784th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our free bracket challenge. $2,000 is up for grabs. Winner take all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 784 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Brenton Hibiero, right? He got me again. Like,
I don't know how you keep getting, as soon as you picked the same as me in that fight, I was like, I'm doomed. He's 0 for Brenton Hibiero.
Yep. There is a good title right there. Yeah. You got my number, fool me once, all that.
You did back him.
Yep.
Against Zhang Ming Yang. But other than that, you haven't backed him yet.
I know. And he's yeah. So he what did you say? I'm 0 for Brenton Hibiero, but this is not a Brenton Hibiero episode, even though he won. So we'll be talking about him again, at least one more time. So this is Fury FC. They're back to their proper day. It's a Sunday event, which is good because we just covered a Friday event. We covered a Saturday event. We're going to be covering UFC, which is Saturday again. And then we got Fury back in their usual spot Sunday afternoon. Pretty solid fight card. As usual, 21 fights because they like to do it up. I guess a lot of these probably are amateur fights, maybe. Possibly. No, looks like they're all pro fights. So lucky there's one man in the world who knows probably about all 42 fighters on the fight card. That'll be the voice you already heard, Daniel Gumby Breland. I would be Jeff Pussy Fox. Hi, Daniel Gumby Breland. How are you?
It doesn't get
you like my nickname still?
Taiwan. I'm just gonna keep shouting out Taiwan Claxon.
So he doesn't call you one.
This is a fun card. I discovered some fighters on this one when I was doing prep work that I didn't necessarily know all that much about. Kind of excited to see him fight now. Both on the couple on the prelims and one on the main card too. So
you discovered good things about these people, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Oh, nice. All right. We're going to dive into it in a sec. After I remind you, you can compete against SGPN this March in our $75,000 winner-take-all college basketball survivor contest. March has never been this exciting. Enter at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. Go ahead. Try to beat us. All right. Yeah. So this is Fury FC 103 Englund versus Minus. Sunday, as I said, Houston, Texas. If you want to go watch it, is at the Imogen venues. 21 fights, so you definitely will get your money's worth. 5:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Prelims, YouTube, US broadcast, UFC Fight Pass. 21 fights. Now, I did the research for 6. Are we doing all 6, Gumby, or you just want to do?
No, we're
5?
only doing 5.
What do you think?
We're only doing 5. After I texted you that I accidentally sent you 6 instead of 5. I'd forgotten that they added the featherweight title fight back onto this card. Right. They did the same thing as Cage Warriors did, where a fight got postponed a couple of weeks ago. They added it right back. And it says Englund versus Minus. Fury 103, but it's probably Esteves versus Richardson now.
Yep. That reminds me to switch my order here. Get that one back to the front here because they did not have it. All right, so we're starting with Echeverry and Dixon. Does that sound right to you?
That's correct.
All right, we're on the same page here. Let's start with lightweight. About Nico Echeverry, United States, Devon Dixon. Everyone's from the U.S. unless you hear otherwise from me. Let's break her down. No odds yet, but Fury, their odds are pretty easy to get, right?
Oh yeah, they always show up on offshores for sure.
Yep. All right, Dixon is 7-2-1, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 2-1 in Fury. He's won 3 of 4. He did get TKO'd in his last fight though. He used to fight at 170. 5 years younger than Echeverry, 2 inches taller. The machine Echeverry is 14-7 with 1 no contest. 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 11-6 with 1 no contest in Fury. The former champion of the promotion. He's been around Fury for a long time. 2-0 over his last 2, obviously. 2-2 with 1 no contest over his last 5. He's fed at 170 as well. 2015 Pro MMA debut.
I think the odds will be pretty close. I'm going to say Devon Dixon -150, and I'll sprinkle on a dog to start. I'm going to take Nico Echeverry.
All right.
I think Dixon in a couple of his fights has sort of tipped that while his wrestling offense is pretty good, I don't trust his ability to do it consistently. Obviously against Manchakara, like nobody looks good wrestling that guy, and he wound up, ground and pounding him out. But even in some of his other fights, like he'll wrestle, but like the scrambling isn't all that good. He doesn't come out in the best positions all the time, and some of it's because he like falls to his. He really likes this thing where it looks like he's gonna pass guard and he's like sort of failing and looking like he's gonna get swept, and he like goes immediately to a triangle choke on his back. And I've seen it work, but I've also seen it fail miserably and then him be in a bad position. And Echeverry is just like, maybe his best trait is he's a really good scrambler. He's maybe right on par with Dixon, in my opinion, in terms of wrestling, but like he's a better scrambler. And I also think he's got way better cardio. We've seen Dixon kind of tire out when somebody brings that kind of game over and over again. I think that's going to be a problem against Echeverry, who seems like he's got the cardio to do it and scrambles better. So like that means Dixon's gonna have to work harder over and over and over again. And I just don't like his chances to do that regularly with Echeverry. I do think he's a little faster on the feet. He's probably a better striker. His chin's a little high, but I don't really worry about Echeverry knocking him out. But I do think Echeverry's wrestling game takes over here. So I'll take him as what I'm guessing, a very mild dog.
All right, a mild dog. All right. Echeverry is the pick. Let's get you some more winning picks. We're sticking actually with lightweights. Lester Batres Jr. versus Brett Pastore. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. Pastore is the American Nomad. 4-3. That's a very, very good nickname, actually. The American Nomad. He's 4-3 with 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He owes us some finishes. This is his debut in Fury FC. He's only won 1 of his last 4, but he did win his last fight. Used to fight at 170, 5-0 in grappling, and the champion there. An inch of height over Batres. Batres is the unit. That's more of a MMA nickname than the American Nomad. The unit is 4-0 with 2 submissions. All those fights taking place in Fury. Used to fight at 170, 1-0 in Pro Muay Thai.
This is going to be the biggest swing I've ever taken on an underdog, I think, on the show. I'm going to try Brett Pastore here. And people are screaming at the screen right now, telling me that Lester Batres is the future MMA. He's one of those guys who's got like 400 amateur fights. And when he turned pro, I picked him as a lightning round pick. And like, I've been high on him. Even I've been sort of tooting his horn, but I think he's run into a really bad style matchup here. They found him a guy who has been doing nothing but submission grappling lately, and he's damn good at it. He actually just subbed, and granted, he's quite a bit bigger, but he just subbed Fumi Nakuta in a fight, or in a grappling match, which again, Nakuta fights like 25 or 35, depending on the thing. So, Pastore is going to have 15, 20 pounds on him, but he submitted a guy who is pretty damn good at submission grappling in Fumi Nakuta. So I like that aspect of Pastore's game too. And then also I went back and I watched some of his old fights. He actually flew to Australia to take a fight for the title for Eternal MMA against Killian Salkild, which is not a tough or not an easy fight, even in your own backyard, never mind halfway across the world. And he scored takedowns early on Salkild, which to me is just wild to think about. Because like, what has Salkild been doing now in the UFC? Like dominating people and grappling on Contender Series, 1-touch knockout power, and ultimately like Salkild took back over the fight when Pastore, sort of tired a little bit or couldn't keep that up. But like he was able to take him down early. And if you watch Batres in his last couple of fights, especially the last one, he fought the guy's name was Whitehead, but it's not the Whitehead we're about to talk about. It's not Bruce Whitehead. It might be Nate Whitehead. But whatever it was, like he fought a 2-in-1 guy, didn't really look too sharp, but like he was peppering him with shots. And then like in the clinch, Batres wasn't finding any success there either. And granted, he did eventually find enough success to win on all the judges' scorecards, but like he doesn't necessarily look like the world beater we thought he was. He pulled 2 arm bars in his first 2 fights in like a combined minute and a half. And since then, he's really struggled for takedowns. He's really struggled to put it together against a higher level of competition. He's fighting a guy who I think is a really bad matchup at a really high level of competition for him here in Pastore. And I'm guessing you're going to get him at like plus 1,000, maybe even higher. And do I think he's definitely, like if a coin flip, you told me I could have 50-50 odds on this, I would take Batres. I'm not crazy, but I am telling you, if this is 1,000 to 1 or, plus 1,000, 10 to 1, Pastore is definitely worth a sprinkle here. And so I'm going to pick him and see if we can't get my spreadsheet on the right foot here.
All right. How much? What did you say he was going to be at?
Plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000.
Yeah, it's right up there with who is that guy we got on the PFL with Cyborg? Do you remember that one? Posted it plus 600, but he wound up closing it plus 950.
I can't remember. I must not have bet it for real. So 2%.
I did. I had him in a parlay with Cyborg. It paid 26 to 1.
Ooh, and you forgot already who it is. So yeah, Pastore is the pick. All right. Before we move on, DraftKings, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to college basketball and March media, one thing is for sure, nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected, every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You can make plays, obviously, on MMA, on college basketball, but obviously you're going to want to make Al Horford and or Kyle Filipkowski plays until the basketball NBA season is over. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Man, tell us about other things.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right. Rhythm, ladies and gentlemen. Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you're invited. All Rhythm users are invited to a first floor watch party tomorrow, Wednesday, March 19th, at the awesome Stadium Swim at Circa Las Vegas. And it gets better. Rhythm is also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still win with the future bet. So Rhythm's March Madness stats and success from last season, you're probably going to want to follow these people. With UConn winning, their percentage of winners was 39% higher than in ESPN brackets as a whole. Rhythm had 34% of brackets. ESPN had 24.7% of brackets. Rhythm predicted Duquesne, NC State, and Oakland upsets. 45% of Rhythm brackets had NC State reaching the Sweet 16. A free party plus a chance at a $250 future bet when you sign up with Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. All right, our party is going to continue, a Fury FC party. See if Gumby's got another massive dog for us or not. This is listed as a co-main, but I'll probably be third from the top now. Bruce Whitehead versus Kenan Jackson. They're fighting at welterweight. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. Jackson, the Lion. We just had a Brazilian Lion the other day, and now we have the American Lion. 5-3, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 3-3 in Fury. Loss, win, loss, win, loss over his last 5 fights. He's not fought low since August 2023. 1-0 in pro grappling. Whitehead is 5-1, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. All those fights have taken place in Fury. TKO win in his last fight. Used to fight at 155. 0-1 in pro grappling. 4 years younger than Jackson, 2 inches taller.
Yeah, I think Whitehead's a massive favorite here. Negative 350, and I'm riding with him. I really like the way he pressures. He's one of those guys who, when he wades in, he moves his head really well, but also he switches stances on the way in. So, like, he uses his natural step when he's punching to change his footwork and creates a lot of weird angles for people to deal with. And I think that's really tough for a guy in Jackson who already doesn't feel comfortable on the feet. He's a guy who looks for a takedown almost immediately in every single fight. And, you know, Whitehead's been pretty damn good at defending those takedowns too. Like, he's got a pretty solid takedown defense. And I think that's going to be really hard for Jackson. Also, like, Jackson, I don't mean to disparage a guy, but I'm about to do it. Jackson could not take down Szymon Smotritsky in their fight, to the point where it gave me hope that Szymon Smotritsky had good takedown defense. And then we had to watch him fight Austin Vanderford and just look absolutely like a fish out of water at a takedown attempt. And so, like, that to me, like, downgrades what I feel about Kenan Jackson's takedown abilities. So I think Whitehead should be able to pepper him on the feet, should be much stronger, should be able to stay away from those takedowns. It should win a pretty easy strike. He's also a good wrestler in his own right. I feel like I should mention that too. Like, Whitehead could offensively wrestle here if he wanted to, but he, like, vastly prefers to throw hands. So I'll take Bruce Whitehead.
All right, Bruce Whitehead is the pick. All right, these guys are on the poster, but I think they're being bumped down because a title fight is going to be at the top. It's Kolton, Englund versus Carlton minus. They are fighting at 155, 3 5-minute rounds. Minus is clutch, 14-5, 10 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 1-1 in Fury, 3-1 over his last 4, 4-2 over his last 6. TKO win in his last fight. He went 0-2 in the UFC, 0-1 in PFL. Not very clutch, if you ask me. Regional champ, he's fit at 145 and 170. 2014 Pro MMA debut, 5 inches reach over Englund. Englund is White Assassin. I don't know about this nicknames, but we'll move on. 14-4, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times. 9-0 in Fury and the former champ. So we got 2 former champs on this card. 5 straight wins, 8 of his last 9 he has won. TKO win in his last fight. He's not lost since October 2021. He went 0-1 in Contender Series. Who did he fight?
He fought Manuel Torres. And I knew that was in October of 2021. It was actually, if I'm not mistaken, the last Tuesday in October, because it's when I was in Atlanta for the World Series.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Go Braves. You fight at 165, 2014 Pro MMA debut.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kolton Englund. Carlton minus, fun striker, stands a little bit too tall for my liking, but his punches are long and he sort of gets people at the end of them and all that kind of stuff. But, his defense is kind of questionable. He got cracked by, it's Arian. You remember Arian Young, who we've broken down a couple of times on here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he now goes by Earl Young, it's throwing me off. I
hate when guys change names. I hate that.
Yeah, but I don't know where this one came from, but now he's Earl Young. So I keep seeing Earl Young instead of Arian Young. It throws me up. But anyway, Earl Young tagged Carlton minus in his last fight. Pretty good. Ultimately minus, pulled ahead in that fight, but also minus his takedown defense does not look good. So he's both taggable and kind of, there to be taken down. And Kolton Englund's takedowns have always looked good. He's pretty strong in that area. I particularly like his positioning. I think he does a good job of keeping people down and holding people in position, which is a trait he and his girlfriend, wife, fiance, somewhere in there. He's romantically linked with Hyann Amanda, if I'm not mistaken, from the UFC. And so, yeah, they both have that trait of if they get you down, they're good at holding you in position. I think Englund should do a good job of holding Carlton minus and basically taking away all of his biggest weapons, which is his striking from range. If I had to guess a number, I don't know. Minus was in the UFC. Englund was on Dana White's Contender Series. I'm still going to say negative 175, negative 180 for Englund, just because the hole for minus is very obvious and should be a problem for Kolton Englund.
All right. Let's tell you about Underdog Fantasy, shall we? It's time for bonus Underdog Pick'ems. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. Almost gave away too much money. 100 times your money. And you're going to do that with the play gum he's got for you right now.
I'm just going to take the lower than on Cooper Flagg's points in the first round. I don't know how bad his ankle is. They said he's going to be back for the tournament. If he is back for that first round, you have to imagine they're going to limit his minutes in a game with a 16 seed. They're going to let him get his feet wet, but I don't think they're going to do much more than that. So even if they posted at an absurdly low number, like 7 or 8, you get that kind of projection in there. I still think he's going to come in lower than that. So give me the lower than on Cooper Flagg's points.
All right. Sign up with our code MMA-SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA-SGPN. I'm trying to give away way too much money for Underdog Fantasy. Edge Boost. SGPN is partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up for Edge Boost and enter our free $2,000 bracket contest at sportsgamblingpockets.com/bracket. That's sportsgamblingpockets.com/bracket. Win that money. All right, now we're to our main event. So this was on the card, off the card, now back on the card. Is that correct?
This was on the card, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had actually done all of the prep work for this right before we recorded. It got pulled. We had to add another fight to our Fury FC 102 coverage. So I actually had all my notes ready to go, written down already. Didn't have to do them again, but they added it back here. I believe Richardson was ill right after he weighed in.
Okay. It happens. These things happen in MMA. This is for the Fury FC Featherweight Championship, 5-minute rounds, 145. Lorram, Esteves, Brazil, Nate Richardson, United States of America. This belt is vacant, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, is it Michael Aswell's belt?
Oh, I know that guy. It could be his belt.
I think it's Michael Aswell's belt.
Okay, so are they fighting for an interim or a vacant belt? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know if we know with Michael Aswell is the biggest problem because that dude sort of got a UFC offer, but not really. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Richardson is the natural, 12-5, 6 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, 4-2 in Fury, and the former champion, another former champ. 3 of them on the card. He's won 3 of 4 and 5 of 9. Not as good. Win in his last fight, though. Used to fight at 155, 2012 pro MMA debut, 2-3 in pro kickboxing. Esteves, 9-3 with 7 submissions. He's been knocked out once, 7-2 in Fury. He's won 4 of his last 5. He did win his last fight via submission. He's used to fight at 160, 4 years younger than Richardson, 3 inches taller.
Yeah, so I think Richardson, I had originally that he was going to be like a plus 150 dog, maybe even a little higher, being that he's the one who got sick now. So I'll say like negative or plus 165. I'm going to take Richardson here as a dog. The reason being is that like he doesn't really lose to anybody who isn't going to like absolutely pepper him on the feet. You look back to he did fight Michael Aswell. You look back to his fight with Michael Aswell, obviously that dude is a super talented boxer and it looks really good on the feet. And like he lost to Padilla, again, another guy who's really good on the feet. And like basically, if you go back and you look, it's like guys who can badly outstrike him. That's why he's been knocked out a few times and not really ever submitted. And meanwhile, Esteves, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's a guy who wants to shoot takedowns. He's got really sharp transitions and moves between his positions, especially to your back, really well. But Richardson is just so physically strong. I don't know that Esteves will do well trying to hit trips in the clinch and to get to his jiu-jitsu that way. I think Richardson is going to punish him for that. And I think Richardson is the better striker too, which is the bigger piece here. He throws really nice hooks to the body, does some really good damage that way. And I think that could be a real problem here for Esteves. So I like that about Nate Richardson. And I think Esteves is going to struggle with it. So give me Nate Richardson, hopefully some dog money there.
All right. Let's get your recap, and then we will get you some bonus picks, and then we'll get out of here. Richardson, Englund, Whitehead, Pastore, a massive dog probably, and Echeverry. All right, lightning rounds. That bam boom pow. Hit it.
Yeah, so the first one I like, Felipe Roca. He's a 185er with some really nasty jiu-jitsu. He gets submissions from all kind of places, heel hooks, that kind of stuff. He's an 185er that I really like his jiu-jitsu. And then another guy who I really like his jiu-jitsu, we're going to go down to 125 pounds. I know I'm going to say this name wrong. I've practiced it already. Sebastian Oyer Vidal. It's Oyervid. Oh, no, it's Videz. Oyer Videz. I knew I was going to say it wrong. I focused too much on that.
I'm not going to call you on it. What do I know?
The weird Oyer in the beginning that like throws like Sebastian Videz would be like a Oyer Videz, all one word. But again, 125 pounder who comes with like a really weird mixture of like looking jiu-jitsu all the time, which I think is really fun to watch and also like plays really well at this level. So I'm going to take Oyer Videz and Roca as 2 dudes who I really like their jiu-jitsu and I think plays up here.
All right. You're set for Fury. You're set for Friday. You're set for part of Saturday. You're set for Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow. This UFC London, pretty good fight card, eh, Gumby?
It's nasty, man. I keep and like they've lost fighters, and like I'm not less intrigued by the fights anymore. Like it was supposed to be Leon Edwards and Jack Della Maddalena.
Yep.
I like that Della Maddalena is getting his title shot. But like Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards, like equally as intriguing of a fight. Molly McCann loses an opponent, and did you see who they found for her? Yeah,
I can't remember her name, but yes,
Inara, the one who was so fun on, like that is such a fun fight to watch now. So yeah, like the replacements they keep finding make the bangers even better, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we'll be covering that the next 2 days. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, in between time, we shall be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Of course, the mighty YouTube MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. You can hit us up in the comments. What else? You can check me out on Instagram on Jeff Fox Writer there as well. You can make fun of the clips of Gumby that I put up there. Make fun of the picks that we get wrong. Occasionally he gets picks wrong, not very often. What else can you do? You can check out the Top Turtle MMA podcast. Tell the people who is on it this week.
Yeah, we got Chris the Problem Duncan, who will be fighting there, as well as Marcin Tybura.
Check it out. Check out my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Hopefully you find the articles interesting, and at the very least, you can enter my free UFC Pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com is the place to be. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Try Madness as your code. See if that gets you 20% off. Got lots of good stuff in there. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. We're done for now, but we'll be back tomorrow. Lots more to go. It shall be Clutch, Jeff Fox, and the American Nomad. Come here, and we'll talk to you then.